At this time, it's my pleasure to welcome the Chief Justice, the legislative escorts, and all appellate court judges. Welcome. Joining the Chief Justice today, she is being escorted by Senator Eric Cook, Senator Dan Durlick, Senator Lakeisha Jackson, Senator Mark Spencer, Representative Wendy McNamara, Representative Chris Jeter, Representative Victoria Garcia Wilburn, Representative Robin Shackelford. The Chief Justice is joined by Supreme Court colleagues, Justices Christopher Goff, Derek Moulter, and Court of Appeals judges, Chief Justice Robert Altice, Mark Bailey, Melissa May, Nancy Vadick, Paul Mathias, Cale Bradford, Elaine Brown, Elizabeth Tavitas, Leanna Weissman, Peter Foley, Dana Kenworthy, Paul Felix, Mary DeBoer, Stephen Scheel, and Tax Court Judge Justin McAdam. It is now my honor to introduce Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith to convene the joint convention.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Governor, members of the judiciary, and members of this joint assembly. Pursuant to Section 3 of Article 7 of the Constitution of the State of Indiana, this joint session of the two houses of the Indiana General Assembly is now convened for the purpose of hearing a message from the Chief Justice of Indiana. It is my privilege and high honor to present to you the distinguished Chief Justice of Indiana, the Honorable Loretta Rush.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Governor Braun, Lieutenant Governor Beckwith, members of the General Assembly, Chief Judge Altice, colleagues, and fellow Hoosiers. Welcome to the State of the Judiciary. I'm honored to be here with you all today, fulfilling my constitutional responsibility to report to you on the condition of Indiana's courts. And I am proud to say your Hoosier courts remain sound, steady, and strong. Last February, the Indiana Supreme Court enjoyed welcoming so many of you to the first night court for legislators. But I want to dispel the rumor that your leadership, Speaker Houston and President Pro Tem Bray, have applied to become our court bailiffs. Seriously, though, it was a wonderful event, and we really look forward to hosting you again. Thank you. As Senator Buck told me on Organization Day, words matter. And during that oral argument, you saw firsthand the precision with which we consider your words. The civil forfeiture dispute centered on whether the statute permitted cash seized during a search to be forfeited without the state proving a substantial connection between the cash and the crime. You all, the courtroom was full, had a front row seat as you watched our court apply the very laws enacted in these chambers. An argument like the one you saw is just a small part of the Indiana Supreme Court's work. We review 800 cases a year and oversee the administration of justice in all our trial courts. But before a case gets to us, it starts in all of your communities. Today, I want to pull back the curtain a bit to demystify the role the judiciary plays in the 1.1 million cases filed in our courts last year. Resolving those cases fairly and efficiently is crucial to our state's success. Please join me in thanking our hardworking trial court judges who are doing just that. And we have And I see you all. We have a record number of you today. I have some even out in the hallways. Thank you all for coming. This often surprises people, but 98% of the cases in our country are filed in state courts. In fact, more cases were filed in Indiana's trial courts last year than in all federal courts in the country combined. Our judges hear cases touching on every aspect of Hoosier life, from felonies to foreclosures, evictions to expungements, and delinquencies to divorces. But our work isn't done in isolation. It's done in partnership with you, our legislative colleagues, executive branch, legal professionals, and all the people we serve. While we're active in our shared mission to promote justice, safety, and stability to all Hoosiers, we are steadfastly anchored within our constitutional authority. And because of our partnerships with you, you have asked us to take on duties crucial to the public safety and the success of our state, and we have. To mention just a few of those duties, overseeing probation, establishing problem-solving courts, working with the VA, developing a protective order registry, building case management systems for the public defenders and administrative law judges, leading both the Youth Justice Oversight Committee and the Justice Reinvestment Advisory Council, establishing CASA, preventing a veteran from easily getting to meth makers, and setting child support. We're busy. Today, we only have time to talk about a few, and I'll begin by emphasizing where our courts have a direct and transformative impact, strengthening children and families. Over 100,000 cases involving children are pending in our courts. As a former juvenile court judge, I experienced the unique position courts are in to protect and nurture our children. Every day, too many Hoosier children, through no fault of their own, are being brought into courtrooms where the judge is often the only constant in their lives. Caseworkers, service providers, and even living situations may change, but the judge remains steady. I invite all of you to come see the photographs I still proudly display of the children who pass through my courtroom. I have them in my chambers right next door. They're reminders of our duty to protect and support the most vulnerable among us and the crucial role we all play in shaping their future. Families are the cornerstone of a thriving society, and those Hoosier families include over 1/3 of kids living in single-parent households, more than 50,000 being raised by grandparents, over 150,000 having at least one parent or guardian who's been incarcerated, and many children enter our courts through divorce and paternity cases. Hoosier families depend on us to set fair and workable child support guidelines. You tasked us with creating, updating, and enforcing them, and we have. Quarter child support last year resulted in $770 million in payments for children. We updated the support guidelines last year, marking the most significant changes since they were established in 1987. The revisions reflect a modern understanding of the economic realities families face and they were the result of an exhaustive review process that included numerous meetings, public comments, intensive research, case evaluations, and economic analysis. I'd like to thank Lake County Judge Tom Hallett. Tom, are you here? Thank you and your Domestic Relations Committee for your hard work in those guidelines and ensuring children and families receive the support they require. Thank you. As another layer of protection for Hoosier children, you asked us to develop, train up, and implement a program to give a voice to abused and neglected children coming to court, and we did. Our court-appointed special advocate, or CASA program, is one of the best in the nation. Just last year, 3,000 volunteers devoted 300,000 hours to nearly 20,000 children. I would like to express my deep gratitude to our CASA volunteers and to all of you for supporting this essential child safety program. Thank you. Our legal system struggles every day to ensure safe homes for neglected and abandoned children. But I am proud to say and brag that Indiana shines as an adoption-friendly state with 4,600 adoptions filed last year. As an adoptive mom, along with my husband, Jim, hi, Jim, to our son, Jacob, and an adoptive grandmother, to Elijah and Evelyn, I know the firsthand the joy and security these adoptions bring. One of our awe-inspiring judges, Morgan County Judge Van Leeuwen, says, there are enough, hello, Judge. You're gonna have to stand up later, too. Judge Van Leeuwen says there's enough bad days in court. Adoption day is going to be fantastic, and it was. She wanted to offer each child a special gift and enlisted the help of her community, and wow, did they come through. Parents and grandparents will know what squishmallows are, those plush stuffed animals. Thanks to community donations, Judge Van Leeuwen now has a closet full of 500 so that each adopted child leaves her court with a cuddly reminder of how much they are loved. Can you show us? Did you bring one? Thank you, Judge Van Leeuwen. Judge Van Leeuwen's previous career before she was a trial court judge was she was an undercover drug police officer in Roanoke County, so we love having you with us. In addition to safeguarding children, courts have a duty to protect endangered adults. Beyond liberty and justice for all, one of society's most sacred tenets is to honor thy father and mother. Yet many elders suffer from abuse, neglect, isolation, and some have just no one in their corner. Last year, Adult Protective Services received over 21,000 reports of elder abuse, and our courts receive about 7,000 new guardianship cases each year. Your laws require accountability from those who serve as guardians to endangered adults. Like you, we are committed to safeguarding these precious fellow Hoosiers. Similar to the CASA program, the VASIA program provides volunteer advocates for over 800 elder and incapacitated adults. One court volunteer, longtime Johnson County resident Linda Kruger, started volunteering after she helped her own mother, who was moved to a nursing home due to dementia. Linda saw that even with extensive family support, it was really tough. She could not imagine how a person with no family could navigate, and she felt compelled to act. Linda has been a dedicated court volunteer for 9 such endangered adults. She says they deserve dignity and they needed someone to care about them and their needs. Linda was that crucial someone, and she was recognized as last year's Volunteer Guardian of the Year. Her work and that of more than 260 other court volunteers embodies the highest ideals of compassion and justice. Please join me in thanking all our VASA volunteers. and we need to grow the program even more. Thanks again, Linda. In 1816, our founders made it clear through the Indiana Constitution, embedded in Article 1, Section 18, that Indiana's criminal justice system promises reformation, not vindictive justice. Over 250,000 new criminal cases were filed last year. That means every day we count on our judges to make firm, fair sentencing decisions to protect public safety while honoring the constitutional mandate of reform. And one of the single most powerful ways we are meeting that pledge is through problem-solving courts. Your legislation, your insightful legislation, enables these courts. Thank you. Our nationally recognized problem-solving courts often offer a proven path to rehabilitation. They address what are often the root causes of criminal behavior, substance abuse, mental health, and family challenges. Through a comprehensive, evidence-based approach, our judges' work is informed by a team of community justice partners, including prosecutors, attorneys, case managers, and service providers. Nationally, the truth of the matter is the criminal justice system has become a primary referral source to get somebody to treatment. And when you asked us if we would allocate more resources to build up these powerful courts, we said yes. In the past decade, we've almost tripled the number of problem-solving courts, including drug courts, veteran courts, and family recovery courts, which will include the new Safe Baby Courts or legislation created last year. As part of family recovery courts, we are seeing more and more babies born drug-free as their mothers complete the program with success. This has immeasurable long-term value to our communities, those drug-free babies. The number of problem-solving court graduates directly translates to safer communities. Temple University published an independent study last year that found 93% of treatment court graduates were not re-arrested. It's huge. So I thank all of you for the legislation for these courts, but also so many of you take your time to attend these life-affirming treatment court graduations. Thank you for doing that. And if you're looking to attend one, find me. I'll get you set up with one. I want to share one more example of why this works from a graduation I recently attended, this one from a veterans court in my home county, Tippecanoe, under the leadership of Judges Sean Pearson and Dan Moore. Graduating from this court is not easy. It takes 1 to 3 years, and success is not guaranteed. But veterans who are ready for a change enter a tough program wrapped in services. These high-risk, high-needs veterans respond to the rigors of a rule-intensive program. Since 2018, 80% have graduated, and their community embraces them because they are thriving, working, paying taxes, and reconnecting with family. At graduation, they are physically wrapped in a quilt of valor, handmade by community members to symbolically show their restored honor. Joining Judges Pearson and Moore today is recent graduate Mark. I remember you, Mark. Balance, yeah. I don't know if you can all see it. Mark is working full-time. His judges picked him up from work today, is that correct? And last week you were Employee of the Month at a large Lafayette manufacturing facility, is that correct? Congratulations, Mark. Mark, I enjoyed being at your graduation. I'm so proud to have you join us here today. I mean, you're reconnected with your family, you've been committed to your sobriety for 3 years, and I know you treasure that quilt of valor. And I so appreciate the fact that community members give you each one of those quilts at graduation. So thank you. We all know lower recidivism rates increase community safety and reduce taxpayer costs. The same is true when our courts order community-based sentences for low-risk offenders. Our state should be proud of our 1,500 trained and certified probation officers who supervise over 100,000 adults and children. One of those officers is Lake County's Kevin Elkins, who was recently named Probation Officer of the Year. Kevin's been a juvenile probation officer for 30 years. He says it's work done from the heart not to get rich, but to enrich his community. Kevin believes we are doing a better job today than ever by using evidence-based practices and robust data to guide decisions as to who needs to be detained and who can be safely remained in their community with proper supervision. And with all the tools at his disposal, and he admits there's many, guess which one Officer Elkins told me about that he finds to be effective for many kids? Sometimes it's just as simple as sending the child home from intake with a community-donated box of food. Join me again in welcoming Kevin and all our hardworking probation officers. Thanks again, Kevin. Part of enhancing public safety includes embracing technology. We have 30 data sharing applications. Last year, you asked us to create an application to allow law enforcement to search multiple state databases so they could quickly determine whether a person was legally permitted to have a firearm. We did. And today, 23,000 officers have access to our safety application. We are and will continue to be proud to help protect our Hoosier law enforcement officers. Another application resulted from your jail overcrowding task force recommendations. There are 20 different jail management software systems throughout the state, so we're creating a single integrated system that will collect and report data and report accurate statewide jail population data, share fingerprints, streamline and connect justice system operations. We remain committed to working with you all to improve public safety throughout the state. Please join me in thanking our hardworking sheriffs, represented by the president of the Indiana Sheriff's Association, Steve Luce, for their leadership in these important public safety endeavors. Good to see you, Steve. I often get asked, what's the most important case you've heard? The judges up there are nodding because they get that question as well. Here's the answer. It's a case that's right before me right now. Because I guarantee you, for the people involved in that case, it's the most important matter to them. Access to justice means resolving matters with transparency, impartiality, and in a timely fashion. Our courts are designed to provide a level playing field for all people and businesses. You can see for yourself. The public can often access court calendars online or watch live stream hearings. We recently introduced cameras in the courtroom, allowing judges to grant news reporters access to capture court hearings like never before. And through my case, all Hoosiers have 24/7 free online access to courts. This reduces costs, speeds up cases, saves taxpayer money. Indiana court records were accessed 71 million times just last year. It's something, it really is something. Disputes in our courtroom are resolved based on the law, not on influence. Objectivity fosters an environment where entrepreneurs can innovate and grow without fear of arbitrary decision-making. And when people and businesses know they are operating in a state with a fair legal system, they're more likely to invest here. A shining example is our 10 commercial courts that have handled 2,500 business disputes. Thank you for funding these business courts last session. Efficiency is crucial in the judiciary. Everyone's on a timeline, looking to meet a deadline, or working in a fast-paced environment. We've embraced remote hearings in some cases. Last year saw more than 310,000 participants. And we're piloting emerging technologies like AI Just one example, Marion County has used AI to reduce both the time and cost it takes for a court transcript to be available in certain hearings. Where it used to take weeks or months at great cost to get a record, they've reduced it to minutes. You heard me, minutes instead of months. Thank you, Marion County. But not everything can get done by a bot. We are committed to staying connected to our communities. Our judges consistently take part in Constitution Day events, mock trials, Statehood Day celebrations, and other civic activities. The 15 judges on our Court of Appeals are everywhere with their Appeals on Wheels program. They've had 700 oral arguments across all 92 counties, and they've made civic engagement a cornerstone of their outreach like no other court in the country. I'd like them all to stand and accept our gratitude. So in conclusion, your judiciary is truly blessed to enjoy such a collaborative and collegial relationship with the executive and legislative branches of this great state. And with so many new faces in the chamber today, I feel as if reinforcements have arrived. We have a new governor and his administration, lieutenant governor, newly elected senators and representatives, and we have 68 new judges. Will all newly elected and appointed officials stand and accept our heartfelt welcome to the team? Though we are separate branches with separate responsibilities, we are a team, because we've all been called to public service to build a stronger state for all Hoosiers. Our work can be difficult, and yes, it has challenges and even setbacks. But we draw sustenance from that divine spark in each of us to serve as instruments of protecting children and families, enhancing economic stability, strengthening public safety, and promoting access to justice. Thank you, and may God richly bless this state we all love. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief Justice. Thank you, members of the Joint Assembly. This joint session is now adjourned.